This guy is an award-winning podcaster, Living Truthfully.
Yeah.
85 episodes so far.
85 episodes.
Yes, and more to come.
A few more coming. We are in edit right now.
Right.
So guys have been asking.
Yes.
Where are the episodes?
Yes.
I haven't podcasted this year.
Okay.
Well, rather, I haven't released any episodes this year.
This year.
I needed a break.
Okay.
But it's done.
Yes.
And now we have some fire episodes coming.
Oh, I can't wait to hear. New guests as well?
Yeah, new guests, all of them.
Bro, 2020, 2021, the guests were out of this world.
No, fire.
Fire!
But it's because we need a platform to talk.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just you and me.
Just you and me, man.
So, are you coming on my podcast?
I am, by the way. Is it going to be all the way in Diani?
Yeah, can you come to Diani?
I will.
I will host
by the way, that's a very good idea. Yeah. That would be a very good holiday for me.
Just to podcast.
I love Diani. By the way, to me, that's one of my favorite hangout spots when I go to Coast. It's quiet, it's Nini, very nice, clean Nini. So this is him. He's a certified mediator.
I am.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so what happened?
Yes.
There's so much conflict in my life. No, I realized that because of the podcast.
Yes.
A lot of people come to me with, I've shared my life publicly. I've shared my mistakes publicly. Mm-hmm. So guys come because they feel, okay, this guy understands.
Yes.
And they come and say, I'm having this problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I realized I didn't have the tools to help them. I could listen, but I didn't have the tools to help them. So I started looking for tools. So I found two. One was the mediation.
Right.
So which helps me put two conflicting parties or more in a room and have conversation. I help them come to an agreement.
Yes.
But I also found coaching. So, which sometimes it's not about the conflict, but it's about you. One party, whatever.
Yeah.
Whether it's a personal conflict just within yourself or a conflict with other people.
Right.
And then use coaching to help you get unstuck and resolve some of those things. And so, yeah.
So I don't need to have done law to actually...
No. For mediation. No. There is a course you do.
Okay.
The most of what is offered here is a 40-hour course. So it takes about 1 week.
Right.
So it does teach you some basics of law. But the idea is not for you to be a lawyer.
No.
The idea is for you to facilitate conversation. As a mediator, you don't make a decision for the people. You help them come to an agreement. That's it, yeah.
Wow. So I think we'll delve right into the thick of the things.
Okay.
You know, Amani Maranga, we've known each other from way back when
you're half the man.
I was when I was a 1 GB.
Actually, no, you were really not. We've not changed much.
We haven't, because I still remember guys calling me fat when I was very skinny. I look at those videos, I'm like, what do you mean fat? Have you seen me now?
Danko, they meant fat with a PH.
Oh, with a PH, yeah, fat mode.
And pretty hot and tempting.
Wow.
Okay, so now this one we just want to talk about the inevitabilities of a fresh start. Okay. No one better to help us understand this position, because most of people in my age are actually they're in that transition.
Yeah.
You called it something, something.
Liminal space.
Yeah. We're in that liminal space, and sometimes it's you have to make decisions. And sometimes you don't make decisions. You imagine it's all about what you feel like doing. If you decide to sit, you sit. If you decide to make a decision, but there are inevitabilities that you have to compound yourself with in order to start afresh. Where does a man get to that starting afresh is the only way out?
I think that's the only way out, just generally in life. You see, we grew up with a very linear progression.
Yes.
You go to school, you get a job, you get married, you grow, hopefully in your job, in your career.
Yes.
Then you retire, and then you die. So that was the linear progression that we grew up thinking.
Yeah.
The world today is not like that.
No, it's not.
Okay? And so that progression has been disrupted.
That's right.
Everything in life has been disrupted. The value of education has been disrupted.
True.
Okay.
True.
Your boss probably doesn't have a degree. Okay. Which is probably right.
Yes.
Because some of those degrees are.
So
I need to know what I can say on radio. Or not. So,
Christian radio.
So
yes.
So I think the inevitabilities of life, if I was to use your word,
yes,
is that you're constantly at in a space. You're constantly in a liminal space between where you are and where you want to be.
Yes.
Okay. And for you to get out of that liminal space, you have to constantly be making bold decisions.
Right.
So let's think about simple bold decision. You go to school, you get your degree, and you can't get a job. Okay. Now, if you're looking for a job, you deserve a job, but it's not there.
That's true. That's true.
Now, if you stay in that linear thinking, you'll wait for a job.
Ooh.
Okay? You'll wait for when you can get a job.
Right.
So what are you doing with your life in the meantime? But if you don't follow the linear thinking, you do a fresh start. You say, despite this degree, what can I do? What else can I do?
That's right.
That creates a fresh start for you. So a lot of the entrepreneurs we have today are doing business that has nothing to do with what they learned.
That's true.
And that business is giving them income, it's giving them meaning, they're having impact in life. They've created a fresh start for themselves.
That's right.
The point is, so the fresh start is not even a very big decision. It's just a realization that if this way is not working, what else can I do?
What are the limits that, especially in this day and age, what are some of those limits that cause us to think that fresh start is such a huge thing?
It's called fear
Ooh.
of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown, yeah.
Yes. Because you don't know it, you're not willing to try it. But I told some guys earlier this week, it's a choice between familiar pain, which is what you're feeling right now, or the discomfort of trying something new.
Whoa. Say that again. Familiar pain,
Yes.
morphing into the discomfort of something new.
It's either you choose to remain in your space of familiar pain. So I know how this ache feels.
Yes.
So I'm not going to change it because
Yeah.
I know it. I know how to stop this ache temporarily. If I'm broke, I know how to stop it temporarily.
Yeah.
I eat mandondo for 3 weeks and then
Okay.
I can eat nyama.
Yes.
You know, like that. Or you decide to do something completely new that's completely uncomfortable,
Right.
and it's new pain. But that new pain could be what gives you relief
That's
for
right.
life.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to choose. Are you going to remain comfortable in the pain, or are you going to try new discomfort, new pain, but that could tomorrow you from where you are?
What was that moment for you?
Last year, hey. So I make money when people gather.
Yes.
So either as an MC,
right,
or when I'm training,
yes,
because I do a training product. So this mediation and soul work coaching are new. So those don't need people to gather.
Yes.
But my team building gigs, like they need people to come. So obviously COVID killed that.
Ooh, yes.
And I remember the day COVID was announced in Kenya, I was signing a big deal for 2020.
Whoa.
Just a nice 2 meter, in 4 months kind of deal.
Yes.
For someone like me who doesn't eat so much because I'm trying to lose weight, 2 meters is good money.
Yes.
So that day, but it was for men, some events for men.
Yes.
So obviously the sponsor was giving me the money for me to hold these events, and COVID was announced, and so no more events. So all my income for 2020, literally in 1 week, went away. All the deals I'd signed, all the pipeline I had. Thankfully, I'd had a good year at the first quarter, so I had a little money. So I did what everyone stupid does. You use your money to continue living your life without changing your life.
Ooh, you don't readjust.
You don't adjust. So what happens is that the money runs out. Okay?
Yes.
And so at the beginning of 2021, I was broke. Flat broke. So I get a small, nice gig with a fantastic client called the Social House. And then in 3 months, we get another lockdown.
Yes, now big one. The one we were told, no eateries.
Yeah, 5 counties. You can't do anything.
Can't move out, you can't.
Which means that now, even that client of mine might be affected because they're in hospitality. And they were, though they kept my contract going, but it was not enough because it was barely paying my rent. I hadn't changed my lifestyle.
Yes.
So I realized the proverbial poo-poo has hit the proverbial fan.
That's true.
And now I needed to do something drastic. So for me to survive, I needed to cut my rent by less than half.
That
So
meant, of course,
Yeah.
you're not living in the lavish area.
Yeah, no, I used to live just down up the road here.
Yes.
Yeah, in a townhouse.
Yes.
With about an eighth of space, green.
Wow.
So I had a dog.
Yes.
So lush green.
Yes.
So, so I had a gardener.
Right.
All right. And a parking.
Hey,
for
you
the
had a
car.
gardener and a parking, you know.
And Kilimanjaro.
Please note it's parking.
Parking.
Yeah, not just parking. Parking. Yeah.
Parking. And it's not a flat.
No.
No. Nobody living on top of me.
Yeah.
No one
Nobody
living
under me.
yes.
Yeah, we just
alone.
Just beside each other.
Serenity.
Beside each other. Okay.
Wow.
Of course, there was a club behind that used to make so much noise, but anyway, but that's beside the point.
Yes.
Then it moved from that to less than half my rent. Literally, I was saying I'm moving from Kilimani to at best Umo, not even Buru.
Wow.
Yeah, Umo or back to Savo Greeny, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was just, that's why I grew up in Doni.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with those areas. I'm just saying that it's a big adjustment.
It's a big adjustment.
Yes.
Unajua ukishavuka Uhuru Highway, sasa
Nivo.
hutaki kuvuka tena.
By the way, it's true.
Hutaki kuvuka tena.
Yeah.
So I went through like a really tough mental space time to try and figure out how do I stretch the little money I have for longer. It really just meant, that was my point. My point was I was broke. If I stayed any longer where I was staying, I was going to be in debt. I needed to cut down the cost of my life by a significant amount, so that if I have 100K, that 100K is not a 1 month budget.
No way.
That 100K needed to be a 3 month or 4 month budget.
You know, quick one. When most people think about a fresh start, they think about having to leave everything that they had for them to now start over. Is that what it means, kind of, to, like, is it cast on stone that is what a fresh start means per se, or you can just live with what you have and just manage?
Kutoka Misri kwenda Canaan. And this is not a political statement.
Yes.
There's some things you have to live. And the children of Israel at some point were like, maybe Egypt was better. It had onions and garlic. You could cook. It's in the Bible.
Yes.
They say that.
Yeah.
There's some things you have to leave behind. But they were also going to a land of milk and honey. So there's a new promise.
Yes.
Hey, you guy.
Words.
Yes.
There's a new promise on the other side.
Yes.
So yes, the answer is you got to leave some onion and garlic behind for you to get some milk and honey.
All right.
Wow.
Well said.
So this is you.
But where is that?
In fact, drum rolls is that we don't have Badum Tish. We have.
Thank you very much.
So this is you having to think about how what used to take you for a month extended to about 3 months, and the conflict is, how am I going to survive?
Na mimi jina kubwa.
Wewe ni bro. Unaingiaje kwa ma 3? You know, I've been in that space where you're in a ma 3 and the makanga, you give him a G, says msania tujai kula yako, and you just make a smile. That's all you had.
But nataka yo change jo.
Bro, 85, what does it take?
It takes desperation for healing. I did the podcast for me.
Yes.
It was not for other people.
Yes.
I was not trying to be famous.
Yes.
And I realized that I needed to express myself. There were things as a guy I didn't feel I had the permission to express. I know you look at me like, what is that?
Yes.
So let me give you an example.
Yes.
As a guy, if you're angry, how do you express it?
You swallow it.
Because any expression of anger, a normal human, emotion experience, every expression of anger from a guy can be considered abuse.
True.
So long as you're expressing that emotion to somebody, unless it's somebody who's paid to take it like a therapist, it's considered abuse.
True.
Okay? Any expression of, say, fear is considered cowardice.
Yeah. Wow.
For a guy. For a chick, she's allowed to express anger. She's just being expressive. But for me, if I express my anger towards Ashore,
you're being abusive.
I'm being abusive.
Bro, the measuring sticks are not the same.
So I realized over my life, I have learned to suppress certain emotions.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that you don't learn to suppress one. The skill is not selective. So you learn to suppress everything. So it's already out there. My marriage ended, and at the point when it ended, I thought it was my infidelity that ended the marriage. Later, when I had this conversation during my healing process with my ex-wife, she said she was in a loveless marriage, and I was like, "What do you mean? Have you met me? I'm a lover."
Yeah,
I'm a lover.
Bro.
But the problem was I'd learned to suppress anger and all these other emotions. So even when I was remorseful, even when I was trying to show love, she couldn't quite see it because I've learned how to suppress it.
You know that kind of conflicts, because I know where we are at in that situation where as men we need to hold back, because you see, this energy, this power is for protecting and not for destroying. And I remember my father telling me, my late dad saying, 2 things, my son. Number 1, in matters love, when you love someone, you'd rather say than not say, than live with the regret of not having told someone that you love them. But in matters conflict, silence can never be misquoted. And some of these things we've picked from traditionally, I'm from the Kikuyu tribe, and right now when you sit with the Adhuria Keama, that's what they tell you. You're not supposed to, your emotion should not be felt. So there are adverse effects to just stay put and keep
emotion is an energy. Okay, it's an energy, and you cannot destroy energy. Okay, so what happens is that you suppress it. And the more you suppress it, it finds another form of expression. So because you can't die, so it will change.
Yes.
Often it changes into either one of 2 things. Maybe there are more, but one, it will either change into a habit. Okay, that helps you cope with that anger.
So it could be alcoholism, it could be sex, it could be drugs, it could be jogging or whatever.
Exactly. So it changes into a habit, and more often than not, a destructive habit. Okay. So just like you've mentioned, or that energy changes into a disease. So a lot of the diseases that we're dealing with today, cancers and things like that, are often not just lifestyle in terms of what you eat and the exercise you don't do, but the amount of toxicity that you carry. What's that hormone called? I'll remember its name. Cortisol. Cortisol that is just building up in your system. There's no outlet, so you're just building this stress, you're building this anger, you're building this fear, whatever it is, and that cortisol is just building. What is it doing? It's destroying your body. So you ignore it enough, your mind tells the kidney, help me. This guy is ignoring what I'm saying, so your kidney fails.
You know, a friend of mine called Afanda Mudoga, one of our friends, close friends, King Afanda, says, but is it necessary? Is it necessary to have a fresh start? Because when you start something, you always want to see it to the end. And you're like, you know what? This is a pattern. I have a family, I have a wife, I have kids, I have a steady job. And your prayer is that this will be sustained. If not, like, be on an upward, trajectory. Like, I want to maintain this.
At least it's moving.
Is it necessary?
So
is it necessary for fresh starts?
It is. It's absolutely necessary. But what we imagine is that fresh starts is very big starts. So mine, remember when we were talking about my fresh start?
Yes.
So let me finish that story.
Let's go back, yes.
So the story was, after trying to figure out whether to go live in Umo or wherever I could afford, one of the options that started to look like real options were outskirts of Nairobi, because I was trying to see how I could maintain my quality of life at a lesser cost. So what that meant was moving much further out. So maybe going to Kikuyu,
the Ruakas, the Nini.
Not even Ruaka, like further Limuru.
Limuru.
I'm looking for much less.
Much less.
Kiambu inside, or Kitengela. Kitengela had some really good options. Kiserian, Uko. So as I was looking at those options, I realized if I can live that far, I can live anywhere. And so I said, okay, what if I was not trying to confine myself to Nairobi?
Yes.
And then those options sort of opened up. Nanyuki, Diani, where else can I live? And when I started looking for housing, for some reason I started looking Diani and Nanyuki. And Diani, I found a digs for 25k that was less than half what I was paying in Kilimani, and I know that's a lot for other people. I'm not trying to diminish it, but for me,
totally understand,
that was now less than half what I was paying in Kilimani. But it was a digs that gave me a swimming pool 5 minutes away from the beach. It had space for my dog. Like, why am I living in Nairobi?
Brutal. But hizo contacts, I think I'm there right now.
put my things in a car.
Right.
In a truck, put my dog in the back seat.
Yes.
And we leave Nairobi.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we go figure out, first we've cut down the cost of living.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then now we figure out, how do we survive?
Yes.
From here. But at first the pressure, ushatoa your pressure ya rent ya next month.
Yes. Yes.
And then now you start dealing with, how do I survive? Because we didn't know how long that lockdown was going to be.
Yeah.
So I had to go to Kilimani here, OCS, ask for CPD, ask for permission to travel.
Oh yeah, because you were leaving the county
I was leaving the
county.
county boundary.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to negotiate with the movers to tell them, okay, I don't have enough money, but you've moved me 2-3 times. Just me, we can figure this out down the line. Yeah. And then just get out. Do what you must to release that pressure fast. And then now come back and tell the social house, can we do 70% of my work online and then 30% in person, so that I can panda SGR and come, you know.
Wow.
So that, and they said yes. So now the money they were paying me was enough for where I was living, but it was not enough for where I was in Nairobi.
Yes.
But in Diani it was enough. I could live on it.
Wait, so you're saying that there are moments when you had to SGR to Nairobi?
See, it's fantastic. SGR usiku unapanda 10:30, unaingia kwa train.
And that's the only thing, the only thing ilikuwa inatoka nje ya county boundary.
Yeah, but no, by this time
they had opened. Okay.
So I was able to do most of my work online.
Right.
Yeah, consult online, do calls, blah blah blah. But then I panda SGR, I land here for 3:30, 4:30. I'm in the hotel. They would give me a room to sleep. I sleep until like 9 o'clock. Then I start my training session with them. I jobo for the day, maybe 2-3 days, and then I panda SGR back, and I have my check that now can pay rent for the next month.
But you're in a whole different environment. This is different cultures, different people. Do you have even relatives?
See, we're in Kenya.
No, I know we're in Kenya. You know what I mean. This is not Nairobi.
It is not like moving from this estate to the other.
I went to shule Nakuru, and I remember trying to look for in Egerton. I went to Egerton, and I was trying to look for a place to photocopy at 7 a.m. And culture shock. I'm supposed to stand in front of a panel and present my project at 8:30 na hakuna mahali wamefungua photocopy at 7.
Yeah. Nyinyi watu wa Nairobi ndio mnamkanga mapema. Sisi kule Diani, kama ulikuwa na haraka ungeja jana. Hapa tufungua duka saa 3 asubuhi.
Saa 3 na tukijisikia. Bro.
Kwanza chai rangi, alafu fungue duka.
You have already even acclimatized. You've become mwenyeji. But you understand when I say that there are few cultural...
No, there are obviously some cultural changes. There were some changes. One, the life there is very slow. But I think I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed it for my mental health. I needed it for my just well-being. In Nairobi, if you wake up and you have nothing to do, you feel guilty.
True. Kwanza as a man.
Yeah.
True.
In Diani, when you wake up and you have nothing to do, it's an opportunity to walk on the beach.
Wow. Bro, you're slowly convincing me.
Do something for your mental health.
Just
True.
Yeah. So everything is perspective.
Right.
Now, to go back to your question, is it necessary? To do fresh starts? Some fresh starts are a bigger deal as moving house. Moving town. But some fresh starts is to say, I need to start eating better.
Yeah.
That's a fresh start. I need to stop spending money on 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That's a fresh start. I need to start exercising. I need to start walking. That's a fresh start. I need to start spending a bit more time with my family. That's a fresh start. Those are necessary for us to... that movement in the right direction needs a series of fresh starts.
In fact, now you're answering a question I wanted to ask you.
I'm brighter than I look.
Yes, you're very bright. The spectrum of some of these changes, they may not be a big decision like moving to Diani. But what can I do? Because I know you planned a lot. You're an organized man. Since I knew you back in the day when you were a Pasi, you're someone who's very organized. And I'm thinking, moving from organizing to actualizing is actually very critical. So I'm here. I'm overweight. You can see it. I'm actually not. It's not hypothetical.
No, what you are?
Yes,
is all around.
I'm all around the world. So what separates the thinkers from the doers? What separates that moment of planning and action? Because that's the biggest step that people are afraid of taking.
So I've become less of a planner. like much less of a planner, and now I do what people think is impulsive.
Yes.
Because between that decision and moving, between thinking I need to change my lifestyle to actually moving to Diani was less than 2 weeks. So it didn't take much planning.
Yes.
It was a very executional mode.
It was inevitable. Like she wasn't.
I needed to go now.
There was no tomorrow's I'll think about it.
I needed to go now. Otherwise, I'd need to pay rent for the
other
next
month.
month.
Yeah.
So I needed to move now. So I've become like that. I make decisions and I just do them.
Flow.
Because the hardest part is to do that first thing. It's to move to Diani, to make the move. A planner would be like, I'll move, I have rent for 6 months, I have this thing, ideas for income. I didn't have any of those things.
You had rent for the next month.
Yeah. That's it. So just deal with the consequences later. With some of my boys, the one you met me with
yes.
we have a thing we call ball mbele. So if you're in the defense,
yes,
someone is about to score football on your side of the goal. When you get a chance to hit that ball, you hit it as far away from the goal, from your goal as it can go.
Yes,
it doesn't matter whether it goes out
or it hits someone.
It's not a strategic let me pass this ball to the next guy. You just hit it clear. Then you deal with the consequences of where that ball went after it has gone.
That's right.
That's now my philosophy in life. It's called ball mbele. We kick, we go deal kesi
badai. Wow. So I'm sorry, I just have to ask this. So Amani Maranga,
yes,
the pastor.
No.
And I'm talking about back. Amani Maranga, the pastor, and Amani Maranga right now. What is the great divide?
So he was a pastor in training.
Yes, he was a pastor in training, yes.
Yeah, and he realized that was not his calling. I don't think I was meant to be a pastor in a church.
For real?
Yeah. I know it looked like it was working.
Bro, some of us, we benefited from your...
It wasn't working.
From your tutelage, man.
It wasn't working.
Right.
Nothing wrong with the church that I was working for at the time. For me, I feel like the four walls of a church are very confining.
Right.
Me, I was meant to be out here in the world.
Right.
Using the gift that God has given me, which is really my mouth, to do good.
Yes.
And so that it was a realization that I was meant to be in the corporate world, in the other space, not in church.
So siwezi kuita uongeleshe mayouth wa church yetu.
Naweza ongelesha lakini for one day alafu mimi nirudi
urudi home
kufanya biashara.
Yes. Okay, fantastic. Amani, I want to say thank you. What are your closing remarks?
First, let me introduce the person I came with.
Yes, introduce her. Yes.
Because she's actually my friend and my client.
If you're on www.palradio.co.ke, you might just get to see her. Maybe super admin can turn that camera. Yes, she's already on this camera.
Her name is Christabel.
Yes.
And Christabel is a senior director, innovation and technology at Care International.
Care?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's my friend.
Is it the Care International that is in Kijabe or what? Is it different from the hospital?
Yeah, it's different.
It's different. Okay, Care International. Okay, come. Just say something. Yes. Sorry. Christabel?
Yeah.
Christabel.
Hi.
Okay. Karibu.
I still remember you from your dance videos. So it's kind of nice to meet you.
So sad that that's what you can remember about me.
So Christabel leads a team.
Yes.
That sits in different parts of the world.
Right.
That does innovation and impact.
Yes.
And measures impact, but also does innovation for Care International, like all over the world.
Yes.
And technology. That's true. And so, remember the coaching?
Yes.
That I talked about?
Yes.
Part of what I do is coaching, and I'm coaching her and her team.
Oh, fantastic. So what's the future of innovation in Africa? No, Nairobi. Let's not even go to Kenya.
No, this is a global chick, so ask about Africa.
Africa. What is the future of innovation in Africa? Just in your own words.
That's a big question. I think when I think about innovation in Africa, one of the things we're good at is because we don't have a lot of the infrastructure that we have abroad.
Yeah.
We've learned to leapfrog a lot. the one thing that I think I'm actually really excited to see in the future happening is what we're calling reverse innovation, where the things that we've learned to do on the continent here, because we don't have a lot to work with, actually starts going back to what they call the global north. So you think about how M-Pesa revolutionized the financial markets, and now is when the US is catching up with like Venmo, the likes of, right? So how do we, as we're innovating around healthcare systems, education systems, etc., actually have reverse innovation happening to go back to the global north to show them actually this is how you work with very little to be able to address some of the gaps that you have. For me, that's what I'm excited about, and I think that there's a lot that's happening in that space here on the continent. Lots of smart people coming up with new business ideas, etc., that I think can really, go back to the global north and be able to teach them as well. Yeah.
Bro, I need this chick here on the show, please.
So talk to her.
Christabel, I'm really going to get in touch with you.
I think it would be great to hear what Care is doing. When she comes, what Care is doing in the region,
right?
And what opportunities there are for young people, to create innovations that could really have global impact.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Asante sana, karibu sana Christabel. We're going to have you here very soon. Tukiingia mambo tech. Thank you so much. Amani, I know I've kept you here for a while.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, so your closing
especially
remarks.
Because on this side there's a hot chick.
Yes.
So I'm sitting on that side.
I'm alone on this side.
Yeah.
So what are your closing remarks?
Yes. First, I think I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here, and thank you for calling.
Yes.
And here's what I want to tell guys, especially guys in Nairobi.
Yeah.
We think that Nairobi is the only place you can survive. It's a lie. It's a lie from hell.
That's right.
Nairobi is a drug. It's a drug, it's an addiction.
Yes.
There is more to life than the boundaries.
The boundaries of
this city.
Yeah.
So explore. Nothing stops you from exploring. I think there's opportunities in Turkana.
Yeah.
Talo oil might be just about to come back and start pumping that oil out. What does that mean for opportunities in Turkana?
Yes.
There's opportunities in Kakamega.
Yes.
There's opportunities in Marsabit and Mandera.
Yeah.
But who is exploring those things? One of the things that has helped me survive is that when I moved to the coast, I realized not very many people have my level of skill in the coast.
Yes.
So what happened is that now I started making money.
Yes.
Because I'm at the top of the game.
Yes.
While here I'm competing with you guys.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Here, before a guy gives me an MC gig,
yes,
they have to call Danko, Oga Obina, Chris Kirwa, and in Costo they just call me.
Yes. Wow.
Or Eddie Kimani. We are two.
It is there.
Yeah.
I had the podcast, the two-part podcast. Yeah. He's there.
He's in Costo. So it's just the two of us. There's not much competition. So we get the money that is in. And where are all conferences?
They're in Mombasa.
Yeah. So when I thought I was running away from Nairobi where there's no money, I didn't know that.
Wow.
When I arrived is when I realized. That's why you do ball mbele. Then on that other side you figure out what's happening.
That's right.
So here's what my last word is for you guys. I was creating a preamble to say explore. There is no harm in exploring.
That's right.
If it didn't work out, I would have come back.
Oh yeah. Because chances are it might not.
Yeah. I would have come back. Who I said I can't. No, there was no letter that never come back to Nairobi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not coming back.
Yes.
Let's just have that clear. I've decided.
You've decided.
I'm a custodian. It was in my DNA. My first name is what? Is Amani. Yeah, it was decided a long time ago. I'm not coming back. But there's nothing stopping you from trying, and if it doesn't work out, from coming back. Change is inevitable.
A huge shout out to Nick who's tuned in and asema that philosophy of ball mbele makes sense. Amani has had a big impact on me in the past few months.
Yes.
So a huge shout out to you and thank you so much even for your words. I mean, for me I was just learning today, you know, like
a lot of
let's decongest Nairobi, let's just explore. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Twende ushago.
Cubana unarudi.
Twende mimi naenda Kirinyaga.
Mimi huyo Naivasha.
Okay.
Naivasha is just here.
But we tutaenda tukienda.
So you can always find Amani. Where can we find you online?
Amani Maranga on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm just about to launch amanimaranga.com. So that's going to be fun.
Fantastic.
So coming soon. But if you want to reach me, it's at that on Twitter, Facebook, or chief@amanimaranga.com.
Okay. Then of course we can catch episodes of your Living Truthfully podcast.
So episode 86 to 100 are coming soon.
Wow.
Can't wait. In fact, that deserves an applause.
Yes.
Yay! We can't wait for that. Men, continue encouraging men. Continue being a pillar of strength. You have no idea. Let me tell you, maybe what you thought you'd have achieved as a passee was never going to come even half to what you're achieving right now.
That's true. If I was a pastor, I would never have been able to admit my mistakes.
Oof.
We are all about the 3 E's.
Evangelize, empower, entertain.